Hello everybody, and welcome to another War of the Spark draft here on the channel. If you're watching this on YouTube, welcome. Before I dive in, I do want to remind you that if you enjoy this video, be sure to hit that thumbs up button. It really does help me out a ton. It's 100% free, and it's a great way to support the channel and the video. Also, if you do want to join the community and support the channel even further, be sure to hit that subscribe button. It's a wonderful way to support the channel as well, and it does give you access to the community tab, where I frequently ask for feedback on the channel and for your ideas. So if you want to have access to that and to have access to all of the polls that I send out collecting data, be sure to hit that subscribe button as well, because polls are a ton of fun. And finally, if you have any questions at all about the draft or the gameplay, be sure to leave those in the comment section down below. Or if you just want to say hello, I do love interacting with all of you. It's my favorite part about having a YouTube channel. But let's dive into the draft. Back into War of the Spark. And we have a pretty good pack here. Lots of good cards to talk about. Starting off with our rare, this card is more of a constructed powerhouse, not really as much in draft, because it just doesn't really have a lot of targets in draft. So you can't really, unless you're like using Samet Sprint, which is kind of a neat combo because then it attacks as a 5/5 creature. It doesn't really do much other than that, because you can't like flash back a lot of spells for only 1 mana in draft, but in constructed it's quite nice, so we're not taking that. Sunblade Angel is interesting because as it has all these abilities like First Strike, Vigilance, Lifelink, and Flying, and all those abilities work really well when you put an extra +1/+1 counter on your creature, because if you ever end up with like this is a 4/4, not only is it harder to kill then, but it also like gains you more life, it blocks better. So Sunblade Angel, if you can put some counters on it, is really nice. Eternal Taskmaster is one of the better 2-drops in the format. 2 mana 2/3 is a really nice way to impact the board early and make sure you can attack and pressure those planeswalkers. So that's also nice. Samet I've also been very impressed with. It's very flexible. It can fit into a red deck or a green deck as long as you are aggressive and have creatures. The scrying ability is nice for setting up your draws, and it's a very, very solid card. Looking at the commons, there's 2 commons that are actually noteworthy. Tammy's Epiphany is a pretty solid blue common. Scrying 4 is just a huge amount, and if you have any bombs in your deck, it really helps you find those. It's just a very strong card. And then Bloomhulk is also quite nice as just an overstated creature. 4 mana 4/4 is just a big body, and proliferating when it enters the battlefield is quite good. This is actually going to be a tricky pick. In the commons, I would definitely take Bloomhulk, and then looking at the uncommons, it's a kind of close pick between the Samet and the Eternal Taskmaster. I think I lean towards the Samet because it is flexible. It does go into a red deck or a green deck. So I think I am going to take the Samet here. Even though it does require a more aggressive strategy, a more creature-based strategy, it is a very powerful reward for doing that. It's very threatening to other decks, and I think Samet is going to be worth taking over one of these mono-colored cards. So Samet is going to be my pick here, and then second I would take I think Bloomhulk, and then Eternal Taskmaster, and then Tammy's Epiphany, and then maybe the Sunblade Angel. Though Sunblade Angel has not been super impressive, but we're going to take the Samet. Being hybrid mana is just so good because it means that it can fit into a red deck or a green deck or both, so it's very likely to make your deck. Following this up, the rare is kind of interesting, but it's very narrow in draft. In standard, the fact that it can like take control of a what's the card that gives you an extra turn? I can't believe I'm blanking on the name, but there's a card, Nexus of Fate. Yeah, the fact that it can like do that and give you an extra turn instead is quite nice, but in draft it's just not. There's not enough instants and sorceries running around to make this worth it. Rescuer Sphinx is quite powerful and is a great card to pair with planeswalkers like Samet, because Rescuer Sphinx can bounce the Samet and give you all of the uses again. Pledge of Unity is a good card, but green-white has not been a great archetype. I think it lives or dies by how many Pledges of Unity you have, and but I don't like starting with those early. Pledge of Unity is very powerful, though. If you look at the commons, there are 4 like noteworthy commons: Toll the Invasion, Burning Prophet, Jaya's Greeting, and Heartfire, and then to some extent New Horizons, though not all of those are even close to equal. But Jaya's Greeting is the best red common. This card is incredible. It just does a bunch of damage, and the scry is quite nice as well. It's great in blue-red spells. It's just great in any red deck. Burning Prophet is pretty good in most red decks. You end up with a lot of non-creature spells, even just planeswalkers or guild globes trigger this, and that's quite nice as well. Toll the Invasion is powerful, but not on the same level as the previous red commons. It's just a card I like to mention because it is quite powerful, and I think people are starting to rate it correctly. And then Heartfire is nice as well, but nowhere near Jaya's Greeting. I think this pick is between Jaya's Greeting and Rescuer Sphinx. And I think Rescuer Sphinx is a tiny bit more powerful, but Jaya's Greeting is also quite strong, and it goes with the Samet a little bit better, so we're just going to take the Jaya's Greeting here. Keep ourselves essentially mono red. And now we have another interesting pick. We can, first of all, I want to take Dreadmalkin is an overperformer. In an aggressive black deck, Dreadmalkin can be very scary. Menace makes it hard to block, and then the sacrifice ability means that any 1/1 amass tokens or things just make it very difficult to, and it's like a continuous threat. So I think Dreadmalkin is pretty strong. D-Spark is pretty good as well, but it is 2 colors and isn't like super powerful. That makes me want to switch colors. Ashiok is like a card that I think is overrated by a large number of people because I think they just put it into any blue or black deck, when in reality Ashiok needs to have a very specific home or come in out of the sideboard against control matchups. Sky Theater Strix is okay. I think this pick here is between Chandra's Pyrohelix and Heartfire though. Wanderer Strike is a good card, but it's an expensive removal spell, so you don't want too many of them, and also I'd rather just stick to a mono red deck. Gateway Plaza is the type of card that I might consider taking out of a weak pack, but Chandra's Pyrohelix and Heartfire are both quite strong. I think I'm going to just lean towards taking the first Heartfire. You can generally pick up some things to sacrifice, and Heartfire does a little bit more damage than the Pyrohelix, so I like it a little bit more. So they are both passable. And now we can take a Spellgorger Weird, just stick to mono red. It works well with the Jaya's Greeting, with the Heartfire, because those are non-creatures. Also the Samet, they're all non-creature spells. It's also just the strongest card in the pack, followed by the, I think Vraska's Finisher and Thunderdrake are kind of close, and then Spellgorger Weird is a step behind those, along with the Crawl Stinger. But Spellgorger Weird is definitely it's just a great card. There's a lot of non-creatures, and this card can run away with the game all by itself. If you end up in blue-red spells, it's even better. But there's just a lot of very threatening non-creature spells, and the Spellgorger Weird is really scary, even in like a red-green deck. Arboreal Grazer, unfortunately, is not particularly playable. I see people play this sometimes, and O3s just don't do enough in limited to be worth it. Though they're trying. They're really... not so long ago, they just had a green for an 0-3 with reach. I guess that one had defender, but this one's just significantly better than that. But now we have the Spellgorger Weird and Spellgorger Weird's best friend, Honor the Godfarer. This card is quite nice. It's one that I'm very happy to have, especially like even multiple copies of. It just filters through your deck, which is something that red often struggles to do, and staying mono red here would be quite nice. Wanderer Strike is okay, and it is a strong card, but I have been less and less inclined to play white decks, and I just like getting an Honor the Godfarer because it works with the Spellgorger Weird, and overall it's just a solid card. I'd rather keep my options open to drafting blue-red, and while taking a Wanderer Strike does still do that, I found myself prioritizing Wanderer Strike less and less as the format has gone on, and I have not found myself regretting it, which is just kind of an interesting thing that I've been learning about this format. So even in my red-white aggressive deck, I don't really want a 5-mana removal spell. I'd much rather you just rely on Heartfires and Jaya's Greetings and stuff. Honor the Godfarer is not really great in a red-white aggressive deck either, but it does leave me open to drafting like a blue-red spells deck, or just a red like black deck that uses the token as like a sacrifice tool. And yeah, we can get Grim Initiate type cards later. Let's just take the Honor the Godfarer. It keep the Spellgorger Weird theme alive, and now we can like go a little bit off path. We could either take a Giant Growth if we wanted to be a green deck who's aggressive, or a Martyr for the Cause. Martyr for the Cause looks like it'd be fine, but I've actually not been super impressed with Martyr for the Cause. To be fair, I have not been impressed with Giant Growth either. But I feel like Giant Growth could be a little bit underrated right now, just because it is still a very powerful combat trick and wins you like every combat it helps you like it's in. This pack is overall very weak. I think it's pretty clearly between Martyr for the Cause and Giant Growth. Sarkhan's Catharsis is like a burn deck you can go for, but you kind of want to be Rakdos super aggressive or red-white super aggressive, and I don't really have a reason to go super aggressive right now. I have a couple of removal spells. I've got just some stuff going on, so I don't have to like force Sarkhan's Catharsis. And I think I'm just going to take the Giant Growth here and then see what ends up happening. Quatli is not a particularly playable Planeswalker in my opinion. And now we can take another Heartfire. Heartfire is Honor the Godfarer's best friend. Heartfire is just a very aggressive card. They do work decently well in multiples, because you can, even though like you run out of stuff to sacrifice, you also can, like, if your opponent gets to 8 life and you have a couple Heartfires in your deck, you can just go face. And we are still just sticking to green. Giant Growth isn't like in the deck right now, so we are still very flexible. I haven't been impressed by War Screecher. It's just too small. Toll the Invasion is still okay, but I think we're just gonna take a second Heartfire here. And now this is a fantastic opportunity to pick up a Guild Globe. There's nothing really spectacular in this pack. Turret Ogre is okay, and we do want more creatures, especially because we have this Samet, but Guild Globe just gives us some flexibility to splash later on if we do get something good, so I like taking the Guild Globe here. It also is fine to just play a Guild Globe main deck, because it does work with this Spellgorger Weird as well. We're just going to keep these cards in the main deck so you can see them. And now we're going to take an On-Crop Invader. It's just the best card in the pack by a decent amount, and no reason to move off of red. Toll the Invasion wheeling is an interesting signal, but I'm not sure how much draft bots on MTG Arena prioritize it. This card is a strong card, and you should be taking it a little bit earlier than this. But I'm still just going to stick to my red cards. I like being very flexible, especially going into pack 2, because that means if I open a strong card of any color, I can just take it and go forward. And it looks like red-black might be open, and Dreadmalkin is my favorite card out of this pack for that archetype. Tidebearer Giant is a bit expensive for red-black, because red-black likes to be aggressive a lot of the time. The only times it really likes to be controlling is if it has like a super bomb rare. But we don't really have that, so I'd rather just take a Dreadmalkin here, and Dreadmalkin can be quite nice if you can pick up some things that are good to be sacrificed. And now we'll take a Bulwark Giant's just the most playable card out of this pack. And Grim Initiate can be good if you need stuff to sacrifice, and Sarkhan's Catharsis can be good for the super aggressive decks. Okie doke. So, we are looking to be potentially a red-black sacrifice deck. We have some decent things for that, some Heartfires, or we could go a red-green deck, but we're definitely playing red, that's for certain. And this pack is interesting. Deliver Unto Evil is not a very good card, because it essentially gives you your 2 worst cards out of your graveyard, and a lot of those times, those 2 cards are pretty bad. Like, it'll be a Grim Initiate and, like, a Heartfire, which is okay, but for 3 mana, you want to be getting a little bit more value out of your card, and that's, like, even getting a Heartfire back is pretty nice. Like, you could totally just get back, like, 2 pretty useless cards, like a Guild Globe and a Grim Initiate or something like that. Devouring Helion is also a card I'm not a huge fan of. I'd rather be using my sacrifice effects on things like Dreadmalkin that are a little bit more effective, like Heartfires and on-crop invaders. You don't want to overload on sacrifice effects, and this just isn't as good of a rate as some of the other cards. So Healy can be very good if at like enabling sacrifice things, because it gives you a lot of tokens to sacrifice. And here we do have a couple of Heartfires and Guild Globe. I guess it only works with it's any non-creature spell, right? So it does work with Guild Globe and Giants Greeting, these Heartfires, Honor the God Pharaoh, so it can be effective in this type of deck. But there is also an Obnixilus's Cruelty, which is a very nice removal spell, and it looks like we're leaning towards red-black. We don't really want a third Heartfire at this point. So at this point, I think the pick is pretty clearly between Obnixilus's Cruelty and Saheeli Sublime Artificer. Obnixilus's Cruelty is the best black common. It's just a very effective removal spell, and one that I'm always happy to have. But it isn't like a mono red card by any stretch of me. So we have how many creature cards that trigger Saheeli? We'd want to have like 9 or 10 for a good deck, and I don't think most red-black decks end up getting there. So we have 2, 3, 4, like 5. We're probably not playing the Catharsis. So I think we're just going to take the Obnixilus's Cruelty and then hope to play some red-black sacrifice / aggro. Karn the Great Creator is one of those cards that I always just counted as unplayable, but recently I was turned on to a strategy of if you have a copy of the statue, like the 6-mana statue, and like some other miscellaneous artifacts, you can like actually take a Karn and like build around it a tiny bit. But here it's pretty clear Obnixilus's Cruelty, a little bit more removal for our deck. We do already have a ton of removal, so we're going to want to start prioritizing creatures, but Obnixilus's Cruelty is just too good to pass up. Much better than Turret Ogre, and then there's some white cards, but we're not looking to play white. With 2 Obnixilus's Cruelty, that's a good enough reason to be in the black colors. And with the Dreadmalkin. And now we are faced with a decision, because the Obnixilus's Cruelties may be good, but Living Twister is also just a heck of a card. This card is incredible. It kind of only needs to be red. Like, you can splash it off of a Guild Globe, kind of. This card is just incredible. Like, for 3 mana, like, it just is huge, and then it just kind of kills all their stuff. So it's better than, like, any common or uncommon. Nahiri is okay, but it's not a card that I've been super impressed with, because they do have to attack you. So a lot of the time, you'll kill one creature with Nahiri, and then they'll just won't attack you until they can kill Nahiri. But in this pack, because the pack is relatively weak, there are some other green cards. But if we're going to take a green card out of this pack, we're just going to take the Living Twister, because we're guaranteed to be playing red. The Grim Initiate's probably going to wheel. So it's pretty much between Living Twister and Nahiri. And I think Living Twister is high enough upside that it's worth taking. And then potentially we could play red-green and just splash the Obnixilus's Cruelties as well. So the Living Twister is definitely going to pick here. And now things are getting even more complicated, because now there's a Mayhem Devil, and we have a decent amount of sacrifice stuff. So I think the Mayhem Devil is going to be the pick here, which means that this Living Twister is probably going to be the splash card instead of the main card. And we will look to prioritize those Guild Globes to help us get that fixing going, and maybe some of those, whatever that land is called, Gateway Plaza. Band Together is also a solid removal spell, but we'd rather just take a Mayhem Devil, because this card is very powerful when you already have 2 Heartfires, a Dreadmalkin, an on-crop invader. There's with 4 ways to sacrifice. That extra ping could really add up and be very useful. Honor the Godfather is another card I wouldn't mind, especially if we do splash. It can discard your splash card if you can't cast it, and find you real cards you can't cast. But we're just going to take the Mayhem Devil here. And now we are... Wow, this is an interesting deck for sure. Jiang Yangu is not really a card I like to splash, because it just, like... it's not like as good on like in like the later turns like most splash cards. So I think we are probably going to be red black base, and so here I would rather just take a Raging Crunch and hope to get some more creatures to fill out our curve. Maybe some more Burning Prophets, some Monocrop Invader type things, because right now we do need more creatures. Not looking like the Giant Growth is going to make it, but Raging Crunch is definitely a solid card if we end up being a beatdown deck, and we will be looking to prioritize creatures, so we're just going to be taking a Raging Crunch here. Okie doke. What do we have here? There's a Devouring Helion, but as I said, we already kind of have enough things to sacrifice. We don't need more of those. I think we're just going to take an Honor the God Pharaoh over a Turret Ogre. Not only is Honor the God Pharaoh just a nice way to get you like a little creature to sacrifice, but we don't really need to prioritize 4-drops. You can kind of get this kind of janky 4-drop later, like Holy Silverwing and stuff. And 2, Honor the God Pharaoh is a pretty nice number to run. Well. There's a Roboput Riders. Works really well with Raging Crunch. But I think we want to be black-red instead of red-green. So I think we're just going to take the Turret Ogre here. There are a lot of green cards. Yeah, I think we're just going to take the Turret Ogre here. It's a fine enough card, and it hits them pretty hard. And we just need creatures like that are relatively cheap. The Rally of the Wings isn't particularly playable. Bond of Flourishing is like alright if you have some really good cards like Living Twister to find. But I think right now we're just going to try and play black-red because we have some very strong removal in black. This is the card I was talking about for being good with the Karn, if you can get Karn, but I don't think Karn's coming back. That's just how drafts work. So we're just going to take the Heartfire here. Also keep in mind that in real life Karn is worth money, so you should just take the Karn, but we're just going to get another Heartfire here and then just keep trying to maximize that. 4 Heartfires. How many Heartfires is too many Heartfires? I mean, hard to say, but Heartfire is kind of, we don't really need Sockets Catharsis. I think we're just going to keep taking Heartfires and then just really build our deck in a way that can maximize Heartfire, because Heartfire is very strong if you have enough stuff to sacrifice, like more Grim Initiates and things like that. And now another Turret Ogre. And now another Grim Initiate. This deck is kind of coming together. But Honor the God Pharaoh, more stuff to sacrifice, and Invading Manticore also gives us stuff to sack. So this deck is really like a mono-red Heartfire deck right now. And Lazotep Reaver is a great card for this type of deck. Gives you something to sacrifice, and makes 2 bodies for the price of 1 card. So that's really actually a nice pickup here. I'm not a huge fan of Johnny in a red-black deck. That was a joke, by the way. And other than that, there's not a single red or black card. Nahiri Stoneblaze is just not an impressive card. It does work decently with the first strikers, but we're not really looking to maximize that angle of Grim Initiate. We're just more looking to maximize our sacrifice stuff. So we're just going to take a Lazotep Reaver here. We will be looking for Guild Globes, because Guild Globes will let us splash the Living Twister, but we aren't that worried if we can't. Here is actually a very interesting, actually not interesting at all, we're just going to take Ob Nixilis Cruelty, but there was some consideration to the Ob Nixilis because it can kill our own creatures to draw some cards, but we're just going to be looking to use strong removal spells and like our Heartfires and stuff to win these games. So we're just going to take the Ob Nixilis Cruelty. And now, this is actually another just pretty easy Jaya's Fire Mage. When you have 4 Heartfires and like a bunch of red cards, it just gets much easier to prioritize. Like, just take Jaya, because we just have, like, all of our creatures are red creatures. It's just, like, going to be a good card in the deck. Bleeding Edge is another nice one, but it is double black, which could be hard, because we'll probably want to run 10 mountains in this deck. But that could make double black hard to get, even though it does make us a nice little amass body and a very good card. But Jaya's just a little bit better, in my opinion.
You can turn anything into a pile of ash if you put your mind to it.
Now, this pack is kind of like medium. We could take another Turret Ogre. At this point, I don't see the Twister making the deck. I don't want to take a Firemind's Vessel for this type of build. We don't want a double black card for that early. We could take a Shriek Diver. A flyer could be alright. So I think it's between Shriek Diver and Turret Ogre. I think we'll just take the Shriek Diver. Actually, we have a decent number of 3-drops already. Let's just take the 4-drop. We don't really have a ton of 4-drops. I guess we have like 2 other Turret Ogres. And Turret Ogre is a fine card. It hits really hard, and we're going to be killing like everything my opponent plays. So I like the Turret Ogre here. It also does some extra damage with the Jaya. Yeah, Shriek Diver is also just, the more black cards you have, the kind of harder it is to cast a lot of them. And now we can take another Spellgorger Weird. We do still have a ton of red cards here. I mean, of non-creature spells. So Spellgorger Weird is going to be a house. Angrath's Rampage, not as impressive. A lot of the time they'll just have a miscellaneous creature to sacrifice. So we're just going to take Burning Prophet here because we do have so many non-creatures. We want to make sure we get some early drops that help us just filter through our deck. And Burning Prophet is great at that. We already have 3 Honor the God Pharaohs. We're probably going to end up cutting one of them. So this is just going to be great. Oh my gosh, this is a super late Tibalt. Tibalt is incredible, especially with Heartfire. You can sacrifice those tokens to Heartfire. You can sacrifice the Tibalt to Heartfire. Overall, Tibalt is just incredible for this deck, and I'm super happy to get it. Shouldn't really be in this pack, to be quite honest. And now we get another Burning Prophet. That's a miracle pickup. This deck is basically a constructed deck. We'll just take the Stone Blades, I guess. We don't really need a Silverwing. And now we'll take an On-Crop Invader, more sacrifice stuff. We don't really need more expensive cards. So On-Crop Invader over an Unlikely Aid. We'll get the Unlikely Aid now, in case we ever wanted that. Devouring Helion, we don't really want it. Okay, so our deck is incredible. We're not going to splash the Living Twister. Our deck is strong enough without it, and it just really makes our mana a little bit tricky. We don't need the Guild Globe either. Okay, so our deck is incredible. We could totally just play a mono red deck, but 3 Ob-Nixilis' Cruelty is a great reason to be in the black color combination. In black, I mean, that's just great. So we're going to actually cut some of our swamps. We're going to go 10-7, I think. If we do go 10-7, maybe we do want this Guild Globe. I like all of my early drops. I'm going to cut 2 On-Crop Invaders, 1 Honor the God Pharaoh, 1 Turret Ogre. This is tricky, tricky, tricky. So Ob-Nixilis' Cruelties are quite good. We'll cut 1 Heartfire, run 3 of them. Run 1 Grim Initiate. And I guess we can cut Invading Manticore. It's just kind of an expensive guy. I guess it gives us another sack guy. Jaya, Samet. This is so tricky. We have so many playables. Dreadmalkin could be hard to cast in this deck. I think Lazarus Reaver is worth playing, but Dreadmalkin's just a little bit hard to cast. Just making 2 bodies for 1 card is nice when you have so many Heartfires and ways to sacrifice. I don't think we need an On-Crop Invader either. We have enough. We should just run Heartfire over all of our other sacrifice cards, because Heartfire is really the best sacrifice card there is in this format. Let's cut our Turret Ogres. I think I'd rather Honor the God Pharaoh than Grim Initiate. What's our creature count looking like? We have 9 creatures in this deck. Yikes. I don't think we can afford to run Raging Crunch, because we just don't have enough creatures to make it worthwhile. We're like actually a very controlling deck. Kind of like On-Crop Invader. Or Grim Initiate. Not really a Devouring Helion deck. Maybe we just run a Turret Ogre. Kind of want to run 9, 7, and then run a Guild Globe. Because Guild Globe works so well with a lot of our cards, and we have a very low curve. And we have a decent amount of scry with the Burning Prophets. So that's nice, a little bit of value, because you can get those extra counters, some extra scry. We also have 3 Honor the God Pharaohs. We don't really want Salmon in this low creature deck. Let's just add another Turret Ogre. We don't really want On-Crop Invader. All of our sacrifice stuff is going to be the Heartfire and Mayhem Devils, and that's enough for me. The extra ping is going to still be pretty relevant. Invading Manticore is going to be solid. Yeah, this deck looks very solid to me. Very powerful. Let's make Tibalt the feature one. Actually, we'll make Heartfire the feature. Let's just see how much we can maximize Heartfire. I think it's going to be good. It's going to do 5 damage with Jaya in play. Yeah, this looks good to me. Not really worried about not running the Crunch because it can't really attack anyway. So it's probably just worse than Turret Ogre in my deck. Any bad cards? Invading Manticore is not the greatest, but I like having a kind of expensive card here to just win the game once the dust is cleared and also give us some stuff to sacrifice. And let's see how this very kind of neat sacrifice deck ends up working out. Whew. And we can also sideboard into a hyper-aggressive version that runs like Stone Blades and even more stuff. But this hand looks very good. Ah, the Dreadmalkin. We're going to go Burning Prophet into Honor the God Pharaoh, probably. Probably discarding second Honor the God Pharaoh, maybe, or you never know. This also plays around Sorinisters because they don't have a target for it now. Ah, another Dreadmalkin. Let's actually just get rid of the Burning Prophet here. We don't need a second one. And we do just want to find lands. We'll definitely keep that on top. Wow, those are nice draws. Let's just attack for 2. They could Divine Arrow of me if they wanted to. That's okay with me. Okay, so this turn we're going to look for a land, so we are going to use Cruelty. Actually, no. We'll just draw. Perfect. We'll just use our Turret Ogre to just block this thing. And hold back the Dreadmalkins as well. Unless they want to sacrifice a creature. Let's do this. If they want to sacrifice a creature to a Dreadmalkin, then we can just kill it with a Obnix's Cruelty and get a decent amount of value. Okay, that's a little bit less ideal. Let's go with the old Lazotep Reaver into the no attack. And then we have some really sweet blocks lined up if they do go for an attack. Not cool, amigo.
No one has seen my face and lived.
We're gonna let Honor the God Pharaohs go. So they are a little mana screwed. Let's kill the 2/2. We don't need that. Let's just see what we draw. Okay. So we will Cruelty a Dreadmalkin. We don't want that. And we'll just attack like this. If they want to chump to save Davriel, we can discard a mountain. We're essentially using our mountain to kill this Dreadmalkin. And this way we get an extra 2 damage face, and we will pass. Sure, we'll get a little bit of value here. Get a Scry in. We'll keep another Heartfire on top. This is where having a card like Invading Manticore is really nice. Sure.
If you surrender now, I'll still have time for tea. A mind is a terrific
This is why we
thing
hold
to
extra
weapon.
mountains.
All I've left you is pain. Good luck with
Another
your
turret
little
ogre would be
duel.
nice. The unlikely aid got me by surprise. There we go. Nice. This is why it's nice to have some big expensive cards in your deck. My opponent has been horribly mana screwed this entire game. Oh, that was an incredible draw.
Play nice.
Now we can attack with
My
everything.
friend is here to help your pain.
And now we could actually have lethal if they don't block these two, because this is 3, 7, 11. Or even if they don't block these two. Like if they... Yeah. Because sacking this is 5. So this will put him to 7, and then these two sacrificing combines for... Sure, we'll keep that on top. I'm just doing that in case they have something weird. Because it's lethal either way, but now we kill both their creatures too. Boom! And we get the win. I wouldn't have minded an Aid the Fallen in this deck. So that was pretty nice. They have some Dreadmalkins. I don't think it's worth going for the super aggro route of just bringing in Initiates, Stone Blades, Unlikely Aids, and Dreadmalkins. This is like... We could bring in like these 5 cards and Sarkhan's Catharsis if we really needed to. And maybe Samet, because we'd have more creatures. But I think this build is fine for this matchup, and we'll just see how it plays out. We have to keep in mind they do have some Lazar-type Reavers, so we don't want to just blow all of our removal. Their Dreadmalkins seem relatively good in their deck. And we'll keep this on the draw. This Spellgorge Weird could go all the way. No Dreadmalkin turn 1 is nice. Oh, an Opportunist. Sure. And turn 2 Burning Prophet right on time. Burning Prophet is so good in this type of deck. Just really make sure you don't get flooded or mana screwed or anything bad like that. So this could be an Unlikely Aid. The Scry is more relevant to us, so we will just not draw a block. We are also at a high enough life total that it won't matter. And we're just trading damage, so... Gonna get this guy into play, even though it's not good against Sorin's Thirst. I guess we won't attack now. We'll just let him use an Unlikely Aid to protect this thing. It'll maybe throw off his mana curve, and we'll get this Turret Ogre into play, which is better for us anyway. We're just not going to be able to use the Omnix's Cruelty to blow him out. Okay, 1 card in hand. Let's just play another Turret Ogre. Now if we draw a land, we can play Spellgorge Weird and hold up Heartfire. No attacks. Because they have a decent triple block? No, not really. We just want to be able to threaten the Dreadmalkin a little bit. Make him sack a creature and kill the Dreadmalkin all in one. Perfect. They can like sacrifice 2 creatures to this, make it a 5/5, but they'd have to sacrifice all 3 to make it outside of range for my cruelty. No attacks. We're not that rushed. This thing will grow to us 5/5 or 6/6, and it will be real good for us. We can also honor the Godfire and then Heartfire. There's a great 2-card combination in this format. Feels bad, man.
I'm mysterious, refined, and a far better dresser than you. MTG.
Let's get rid of the honor the Godfire. So if I attack all face, I can kill him if he doesn't block. He's 4, 8, 10, 14, 18. No, because no. Let's just kill that. We can take a big hit. Bizarre blocks. Let's just kill the Dreadmalkin, grow this thing. So those blocks really helped us out. Like, sure, we lose our 1 Heartfire.
Perish the thought.
Sure.
Struggling?
Well, that was a good draw.
Keep making that face, and I'll singe your eyebrows. Here's how it's done.
Yeah, our deck is very smooth, just runs as it's supposed to. Lots of good cards in it. Good synergies. All of our I don't know, that was kind of unnecessary. I guess now it doesn't trade with one of our guys. Any 2 of these are lethal because of the Jaya passive. Boom. And the explosion. Oh, man. That was excellent. Yeah, another red-black card. That is exactly how I wanted that to go. Pretty much to the letter how I wanted it to go. If I could have chosen for how that would go, I would put top decking the Jaya there in that list of how it was supposed to go. And we are going to have to mulligan this. Just no lands. Opponent's mulliganing too, though, so it's equal. And this hand is pretty good. He's got a lot of our late game, so that means we have to draw some early game stuff. But we have some removal, and Burning Prophet is not a land, so we're not going to keep it on top. But it's close. It would be an okay draw. We just want to hit our land drops. Jaya is going to be good. Object's Cruelty is going to be good. 2 lands off the top is very good. Let's just pass. There's much scarier stuff than an on-crop invader to kill. We'll just take the damage and then we can kill it end of turn if he doesn't play anything relevant. But like if he plays a turret ogre, we'd rather kill that. Well, now we have to kill it.
Join my order. Unity is
Rats. Kazmina's
my
annoying.
students are loyal and brilliant.
Get rid of the Manticore. A little farther from casting that one. I hope they don't have Rescuer Sphinx. That would be annoying. This is a nice sign for me. It means their deck isn't insane or anything. No blocks. Ah, Neheb. Rats. We're gonna have to kill Neheb. Which means we have to spend our whole turn killing it. But on the bright side, Neheb is gone, and Jaya can pick off these 2/2s. Okay, so they're taking a turn off, which is in some ways good for me, in some ways bad. But now I can get my Jaya down, start picking off his 2/2s. One to the top, 3 to the bottom. It's weird if you miss a land drop after casting a Tammy's Epiphany, but it happens, I guess. Okay, so I'm just going to play Jaya, kill this thing,
Stand back and watch a master at work.
and then I can hold this back to chump block, or I can just kill the Kazmina right now and have this sit at 1 loyalty to be sacked to a Heartfire. So the question is, do I think they can get back the Kazmina or just kill my token anyway? I think I'm just going to kill the Kazmina. I think they can probably deal with this token. With a bunch of cards that they drew, they can just do some stuff to it. And as long as the Jaya is at 1 loyalty, my Tibalt is scary as heck. And all my burn spells do 5. So now they hit a land drop. So Jaya's getting hit.
Knock it
But
off.
Jaya is still an incredible threat. Oh, yeah, that's fine for me.
Keep an open mind.
Okay, this is going to be a good turn. So first things first, we play Tibalt. Minus. And then we will Heartfire to kill the Narset and the Goblin Assailant. No, because if we sacrifice this thing, target this thing. If we sacrifice this thing, target this with the Heartfire, the 2 damage can go to that. Target a creature. Kill that thing.
I still have much to learn.
No attacks. I should have held that land. There's no reason to play it. Yeah, keeping the Jaya alive with this hand is important. And with the Tybalt. It might have been better to just just let the Narset tick down one more time.
Oh, they're so cute.
It feels weird to use my spells like this when I could just sacrifice one of these useless planeswalkers, but at the same time, I still have a Heartfire in my deck. No, I have 2 Heartfires in my deck, so I could still maybe sacrifice them, and also these passives are kind of nice. Okay, the Griminition's annoying, I will say. Yeah, not really looking to kill the Griminition when he has Heartfire up.
Nice work out there.
Feel like death.
Well, that's not good.
Let us fight.
So I could kill this guy when he pluses it next turn. I think I just have to draw another Obnix's Greeting. So I have a Heartfire for this thing now.
Might demands power.
Is he going to use the Heartfire? Nope. Smart. That is smart. This guy's deck is good. Griminition's a little bit suspect, but... So we're going to block with both of these. And then sack that. And if they use the Heartfire to go face, then I get to play my Turret Ogre and be in good shape. But they're probably just going to kill this Spellgorger weird. But my Turret Ogre is going to be pretty big. Oh, that's game. That's really bad for me.
This devilish. I adore an honor.
Yeah, that's just straight up GG. I don't have a way to deal with those. Dang it. If that Tybalt was nothing and I had drawn another good spell, that could have been different. But that's also a lot of what ifs. I think our deck is relatively well suited for the matchup. He has several planeswalkers that are really scary. Turret Ogre is going to be good, but I already have 2 of those in the deck. Yeah, let's just run it back. The Grim Initiates are also a little bit annoying. But overall, the fact that he has 3 Grim Initiates means that, like, I'm probably going to be in good shape, because he's not going to draw Heartfire every game or anything like that. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Even though we lost, I don't think it's broke. We'll play first. Yikes, this is a mulligan. And this is also a mulligan. Actually, this hand, if it hits a land, I think we're just going to keep this one. It's sketchy. But, you know, you can get there sometimes. I think our odds are better than mulling to 5. Land me. Yeah. Okay, we're in the game at least. Is he gonna Heartfire me? Nope. The Raging Crunch. Booyah. Let's just get this Spellgorger Beard out. ASAP. Maybe we can grow it before my opponent can do too much. We've got our 2-card combo again. We'll take a little bit of a hit. Whatever this little thing means, probably not good for me. Probably could just block there, I don't know. Oh, that's why he's playing it. That's still not good for him, I don't think. Let's just use this. Definitely scry a land to the top. Get in for 5. Nation. No, don't have a Heartfire. Don't do it. Aw, man. Well, that's actually okay for me. It does mean I get to scry, and we'll keep that on top. And the Crunch by himself is a scared Crunch indeed. A Crunch without a pack is like a kingdom without happiness. We're gonna kill that guy. We don't need another Heartfire right now. No attacks. Okay, this is a good one to get out. We can just kill all of the non-Crunches. Damn, his Epiphany is horrific for me, though. That is not good. Not good. Oh, 3 to the top is no bueno. Okay, we're going to get rid of the Burning Prophet. If we draw a land, let's scry a land at the top. Just right now. Don't need a Heartfire. We'll scry again. Lazotep waiting. Brutal. We don't want that though. We'll trade our 1-3 for his 4-3. Unfortunately, we've scryed some Heartfires to the bottom. And our Tybalt. 3 of our better cards. Sarkon, eh?
We begin. Come to me.
We'll get our scrying on, and that's a fine card to scry to the top. Not going to attack. So we scryed 3 cards at the top. One of them was Lazotep plating, probably. One of them was Sarkon. I don't know what the third card was, but I'm not optimistic. Because if this thing dies, I'm just dead pretty much.
Are you ready?
Don't do it. No. Let's just block there. Hope to draw removal spell for Crunch. Maybe we can kill the Sarkon with attacking. Okay, it's a 6/6. Thank you, Auto Tapper, for trying to wreck me. I think that's better than average. I can cast this turn. I can also sacrifice this Guild Globe, which is kind of neat. So I'm going to go to 1. Two onto the God Pharaohs. So I'm just going to keep this in hand. Those are probably the 3 cards he kept on top, so as long as he doesn't have any interaction, we have a chance.
The only thing to fear is the more, the messier. Look to
Oh,
the skies.
goodness. Oh, goody. Man, the sad part is we're actually kind of close to just burning him out if we drew a Heartfire. This devil is going to be too much either way. Yeah, we lose. This guy's deck is very good. The Lazotep plating was the real straw that broke the camel's back there. We were going to be in pretty good shape, but he just kind of wrecked us. Oh, we'll save packet of opening till the end. Give you something scintillating, some excitement. I pretty like this deck though. This deck is fun. It's got like a lot of different like stuff going on, tons of removal, some pretty decent planeswalkers. I think a yeah, whatever the card is that gives a creature and a planeswalker back. Oh, this is a great hand. Oh, so good, so much value. These Spellgorger weirds are so good in this deck. How have we played against 2 Grim Initiate decks in a row? We're going to save... Actually, no, we just need land, so we're going to play the Guild Globe on turn 2. The fact that you can sacrifice this to ping now is so cool. Makes me excited. The spell gorge are weird. Oh, you have a spell gorge weird as well. Wow. Fancy. Already chumping. Interesting. So it's a mirror match, but my deck is a very good version of this deck. So I'm feeling optimistic. I'm less optimistic. That was kind of brutal. Get rid of the Manticore. Hopefully get a mountain. Oh well, we can cast this off of our Guild Globe. Turd Ogre is probably a fine draw. Like, it's not the best, but it's not like one of our worst cards, and we don't have any expensive cards, so we don't want to draw land. Okay, here is where we use our Obnixis' Cruelty, because then he doesn't get a 2/2 out of the deal. That's more important than using the Jaya, because the Jaya is just going to have to kill it twice. Wow, this guy is just going all in on these death triggers. It's annoying. Let's just find some more action here. We'll wait on the Jaya. Wow. Two onto the Godfair is already gone. But so is our Manticore, so we don't need to play our Swamp. Actually, we do, because we want to leave the option open to drawing a mountain and double spelling. Like Jaya plus hold up Heartfire. Oh, no blocks. No fear. Never fear, opponent. We do not need a block. Yes. Oh, the sweet, sweet justice of a turret ogre. Oh, I love turret ogre so much right now. It blocks Grim Initiate. That's all that matters. Do, 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 do. Do, 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 do. Savage. 21 Savage. I think that's the name of a rapper. I'm not sure. Well, now we have a giant target, which is good.
This is your first lesson in pyromancy. Oh, I'm sorry. Did you get burned?
Charge! Okay, they go to 7. Well, that's actually hilarious. This is great.
What was that for?
This will do 5, and then Jaya does 2 to him. Haha! Victory! Da 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 da. That was hilarious. The opponent was like, "I'm going to 7 life. It doesn't matter," and then they just got wrecked. Oh man, that is the sickest way to win a game. Samet might be okay to play, I don't know. Let's play the Samet. Over 1 Honor the God Pharaoh. Maybe I should have been playing Samet all along, because a lot of my creatures that aren't creatures still make creatures. That was a nice little play, though. They brought back all their stuff, and then it all died. To a little thing called Heartfire with Jaya passive. Oh, yes. It would have been sweeter to kill them with a Sarkhan's Catharsis, because that's just, like, unexpected, but still sweet. Okay, we're going to Jaya's Greeting that. But we'll wait. Don't want to land. And they missed a land. Okay, I'm just going to play out my creatures, keep things proactive, and I'm not going to trade these off because that would be bad. And neither of these trades would be good for me. Aww. Yeah, we're gonna let that resolve. We're gonna just use our mana effectively and Turret Ogre this turn. Perfect. Oh, that's exactly what we wanted to have happen. And now this doesn't. Now neither of our creatures dies if he plays like the mass army card. We're going to discard our second Honor the God Pharaoh to our first Honor the God Pharaoh. Get this into play, and the next turn we can play Mayhem Devil plus a Heartfire. Oh, God. Ouch. I guess it was not going to work out for me. I know if I hadn't played that one, it would have been so much better for me. Ouch. That was such a good Massacre Girl. I've never seen a Massacre Girl do more work than that. That killed like 5 of my creatures and like 2 of his. Killed 3 of my creatures. That was a beating. Oh, perfect. Okay, they have 2 cards in hand. They're at 7. How many Heartfires do I have left? All 3 Heartfires. So any solid smack and a Heartfire is lethal. also at 14, so they can't attack me too aggressively. Oh my gosh, if I win after that brutal mass... Oh my gosh, what is happening? Yes! Yes! Oh man, the top deck. Boom! 2 games in a row! Let's go! The Command the Dreadhorde just destroying this guy. Oh man, he's like, man, getting wrecked again by those Heartfires. That guy's heart is on fire. That heart is on fire. That's a reference to This Girl's on Fire by, geez, what's the girl's name? She hosted the, like, Oscars this year. The lady's name, I mean. Her name is... Shoot, what is her name? Alicia Keys. There we go. Wow, pouncing links. That's cute. Actually adorable. Wow, 3-color aggro. Let's go. Oh my gosh, it's Davriel.
Let me pick your brain for a minute.
Yeah, we're gonna have to do it like this. Keep that on top.
This has been a waste of my time.
I feel like this block is just not correct because Vraska's finisher's in the format. Yeah. That's why you play stuff post-combat. Let's go. So this guy's like blue-black splashing white. Weird white splash, though. Let's kill the Thunder Drake. The Thunder Drake's more of a problem. Keep this on top. Because the Thunder Drake can get bigger than a 2-3. I should have attacked with the Burning Prophet. Oh my gosh, this is brutal. Maybe I was supposed to play this beforehand, but then it just gets attacked, so that's real bad. All of the 3 toughness guys. I don't want this one. Nope. No swamp, please. This guy might have Rally of Wings. If this guy tries to put me on a 2-turn clock, he might just die. Oh man, we're 1 land short. 2, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. This would be... If he doesn't block, we win. Maybe. He's at 10. 2, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Are we literally 1 damage short? Actually, if he does block, we might win. Shoot. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. This is 1, 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. $13. Yep, we were 1 damage off or 1 mana off because we could have played both of those. And for people wondering, thinking that the Spellgorger weird trigger would matter, to cast the Heartfire, I would have had to sacrifice the Lazarstep Reaver, which would have been -1/+1. So I wouldn't have actually won it. Brutal. Well, we're bringing in the 3rd Turret Ogre against this guy. And maybe the Samut. For an Honor the God Pharaoh. Let's just bring in the Turret Ogre. Oh, we were so close. We were 1 damage off. If we had bluffed 1 more point of damage earlier in the game, I don't know if he would have blocked, but keep this 7. Even though Jaya was bad against all his creatures, it's still such a powerful card that it's worth playing, I think. Dang, opponent has no idea how close they were to dead that last game. We're just going to attack for 2, hold up Ob Nixilis' Cruelty. Sure. Not a great use of a card. I'm not going to kill the Makeshift Battalion because it's one of the few cards I've seen that actually dies to Jaya, whereas they have a lot of flyers that don't die to Jaya. Perfect. Every point matters.
What should I aim for first? Watch this.
Force or Griffin, sure. I'm going to cruelty this thing. So I can keep chipping in. We're gonna hold this land for our God, honor the God Pharaoh. Sure. Let's play this thing. We'll just do damage to the face.
You're not exactly a quick learner, are you?
Oh dear. I'm happy to make this trade. Okay. He doesn't know about the Heartfires, really, I don't think. Keep in mind he can use War Screecher. Vigilance is annoying. But he can only attack with the flyers. We're gonna have to kill the Rising Populace because it's gonna get too big for us to deal with. But then we get to make some decent trades. Oh, Tybalt. Oh, I think we want to save Tybalt. Three, 5, 9. Because Tybalt is just going to die in one hit. That's the perfect draw.
You don't look scared. My friend is here to help.
So I can do 4 damage to this thing. Let's just attack for 5. Okay, so they're using all their mana here. And we sacrifice our Tybalt. I think I might have messed that up. I might have been able to kill him if I'd... Oh no, I don't think I could have. 2, 3, 4, 5 damage. I think this game is ours. Maybe not. Wow, he almost could have killed me there. 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. What are those draws? What? That is so brutal. Those are his last 2 draws. I lost. I can't believe it. Got him to 1. And then he just jumps here. Actually, he jumps here. No, I'm not dead yet. I'm not dead. I'm not dead. So if I attack with just this, and he blocks with this, then this is 3, 4, 5. If I attack with this thing and he blocks here, I just attack with 1. So you just have to top like a non-creature spell. I'm not dead. I just need him to whiff for a turn. Come on! Whiff! 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 Land. Please. Please draw a land. Please. If he'd drawn a spell, he would have cast it. All I need is Heartfire to win. I've already used 2. But I have 2 left. So 1 in 9 odds. If it's a removal spell, he would have won. Oh my gosh, he only had 1. No! I just needed a spell! Oh, I needed a removal spell! Oh, it's so sad! Brutal! That is so sad. Oh. He couldn't just whiff for a turn and draw a land like I did. Oh man, if I had drawn 7 lands instead of 9 lands, I would have won that game too. Shoot! That's so sad. Well, anyway, that is going to do it for this video. If you made it all the way to the end, type #Heartfire in the comments section down below to let me know you made it all the way to the end of the video. We are going to claim our prize. We got some packs, we got some gems. We're going to open the packs because people like pack openings. But yeah, that is going to do it for this video. If you did enjoy it, remember to hit that thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and leave a comment in the comment section down below. I really do hope you enjoyed it, and yeah, I'm glad you chose to get all the way to the end of the video. So far, a couple decent packs. We got an Ilharg. Mobilized District is kind of cool. Solar Blaze is a funny one, not necessarily great. And final pack, something good. Playing one celebration. Well, it is a celebration because this is the end of the video, and I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you next time.